brief message on something that's been pressing on my heart for the past couple of days. I've been sitting on it, just meditating, but it keeps expanding in different areas. So I feel um, the desire to share it. And that is knowing the difference between needing something or someone and choosing something or someone. Need versus choice. So the reason why I have been in my own life meditating on that, pondering on that, is because in making my food choices, as well as other choices, but particularly it kind of spawned out of my food choices. And I thought to myself, do I need this thing? Or do I have the ability to choose something else? So far as when cravings come. And I'm really trying to get into this intuitive balance where I'm trying to follow a pattern that I know works for me, but I also want to give myself the freedom and flexibility so I don't feel so confined that I rebound and have a relapse. So I have been navigating the difference between choosing something and, for other lack of a better way to explain it, feeling compelled or compulsed to pick up something because you feel like, oh my God, I had such a stressful day. I need dot, 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 whatever that might be. And allowing myself that space when I have that thought process, because usually what the process is I feel it, I think it, and I do it, even if it might not be the best thing for me. And so I say, oh my God, I need this coffee, or I need this this comfort food, whatever it may be. And when I'm hearing that, when I feel that trigger and I'm hearing that, I've now put what I call speed bumps in between my feelings, my thoughts, and my actions. So that I still may choose it, but I'm also taking that time to evaluate that choice, why I made that choice, and doing so with a more distinct rationale. So sometimes I get up throughout the day, and if I feel a certain way, I'm like, oh, God, I just need some coffee. Let me get some coffee, and then I can get through the day. And then I put a speed bump in it. I'm like, do you need coffee? Or what else do you need? What is it that you really, really need right now? And I poll myself, and I say, what state of mind are you in? Usually, that has a lot to do with me feeling like I need something or I'm choosing it. And I don't think we make that differentiation enough. We think that we're choosing something just because we're making that choice without going deeper into the layers of what is driving that choice. So again, I'm using this in terms of food choices or lifestyle choices, but really this blows up into every area of our life around relationships. I don't want anyone to need me. I mean, your child would need you if you had a child. That's different. But any able-bodied adult, I don't want them to feel like they need me in their life. But rather, it's more balanced that they choose me for their life, which means that they're able to navigate their own needs without putting that upon me. And I don't feel the pressure of having to meet needs that have nothing to do with me intervening to really truly meet that. Might be putting a band-aid or distraction or whatever. But back to food. I just wanted to show where the other applications are in that thought process. So I may still have a cup of coffee, but I will first sit and be still and examine my soul. to find out really, really why I'm making that choice. Is it conditioning? Is it habit? Is it a dependence, need? Now you physically become dependent on it. Are there other options? Can I get up and exercise? Can I sit still and meditate and regulate my emotions so that I don't need a coffee to bring me into a certain space? Around food choices, do you need that? Even if it's healthy, I'm even challenging myself because sometimes I'm like, oh, but it's healthy. It's in my food plan. That's not really the issue as why are you choosing it? What is the emotional? Because if you're in this space where you're using all these external things for emotional regulation, for internal regulation, then it's not necessarily the what, but it's the why. And you're not getting to the root of truly addressing and healing. So I know I could keep going on and on, but I think I made my point. And with that, I just want to close with encouraging anyone who feels more tied to things than they really want to be, more tied to people, more tied to ideas and concepts, lifestyles, decisions, to go through that process and put speed bumps in your life, to examine why you are reaching for something in the time that you're reaching it. I do that a lot with my hunger, and I'm like, are you really hungry? Or are you just so used to picking up something every X amount of time? And sometimes I have to sit there with that and go, and I sit there with it and I don't react with it, and it passes. And I'm like, yeah, you weren't really hungry. You probably just needed a moment to just sit still and let that conditioning, let that thought, let that whatever pass. Or maybe you need to go deeper and examine it. So that said, speed bumps and soul polls, I think, will help us to be more mindful around our life and our life choices and more emotionally regulated from within rather than using external things to do it. That's it. Be well and be blessed.